In the currency quadrant, taking a look at the Japanese yen, which opened the day flat to down one tick, third session lower now as we ended up finishing the day on the lows. High today, 90.75, settlement yesterday, 90.76. So basically flat and then straight down all day long. 90.30 was that low. That was down a little bit more than 0.5%, 52 basis points to be exact. 90.31 settlement also down right around 0.5%. Not only do we have 3 consecutive sessions lower, but we've got 3 consecutive weeks lower in the yen. And that overall weakness is partly defined by the yield differentials between the US and the Japanese 10-year, which is the JGB. When you look at the Japanese 10-year, it's at about 5 basis points. So 0.05% is the yield on the 10-year Japanese government security. In the US, we got to 146 today, ended up the day about 140 or so, which is about 145 or so, which is about the highest level we've seen since early July. That basically puts the yield differential at 140 basis points, which is kind of a technical breakout. We've tested 136 on those yield differentials multiple times over the last few weeks. Today we broke out, and that will actually keep pressure on the Japanese yen unless it turns around and falls back into that range that it's been in for the past few weeks. So the yield differentials are rising. That tends to weaken the yen. Then also we had a Bank of Japan meeting this week, and the BOJ, while keeping monetary policy steady, offered a stark view on exports and output. They kept their view on the economy the same, saying it was picking up as a trend. But in terms of exports and output, they wrote in their statement, and this is a quote, exports and factory output continue to increase, although they are partly affected by supply constraints. Last statement, they just said they continue to increase steadily. They added in that partly affected by supply constraints part, which is kind of a starker view or more negative view on exports and output. That also weakened the yen.